Hello friends, I'm so happy to be with you again. How are you all? How have you been keeping? I just want to say thank you to the subscribers, thank you to the viewers. Thank you all. Thank you so much for being faithful viewers and for growing this family of easy meals at home. Now, special thanks go out to Evelyn of Thoban Church Center. Also, special thanks also to Esther Gitonga. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you for watching. And as for the new viewers, thank you for joining in. I hope you can subscribe. Remember, subscription is free, so we can make sumptuous meals together. Now just blow up that subscribe button and let's start cooking. Now today in my fridge I had not much as usual, but I had some potatoes that I'm going to use to make. I have some potatoes in the house, and also I found myself with peas. And I thought of what meal can I make with peas. So together we are going to make potatoes in peas curry, or you can say stew. Now I've chosen this because it's again easy and quick, and I don't need many ingredients. But if you find yourself with many, that's a good thing. You can always add in those things that I've not put. But as for today, I'm going to use garlic that you see me chopping, and I'm going to use green pepper, some cornmeal, onions, and I'm also going to use these blended tomatoes. It will come out in a paste, and this is how mine will look. Now I'll also use rosemary as my spice. I'll use my chicken spice. I like it because it gives me that kick where I don't have to look for excitement elsewhere. And I'll need some salt, some curry, some turmeric, and some black pepper. And beef seasoning. Now these spices put together will give me a nice stew that would be smelled from the outside of the house. Before you even get in the house, you have smelled my cooking, because together they would make a nice blend. Now I'll start off with cutting up my vegetables like you see me doing. I use oatmeal a lot because of the many properties that oatmeal can give, the nutrients that oatmeal gives. So you may be wondering, why is it all the time when I'm cooking I use it? Well, it's simply because of that. It's got so many components that are nutritious, and also for garnishing, it gives me that nice green look that I want to always use when I'm cooking. So that means I'll keep some oatmeal on the side that will be used for later, and then start chopping up my oatmeal. And when I'm done, I'll also chop up my other green pepper. You don't have to have a lot of green pepper. Now I'll start with chopping up of my oatmeal. Now I'll go small chunks. So if you're at home and you have it there as well, cut up in small chunks. And when you're done, you can get to your onions. Size this time for onions will be smaller because our peas do not want to be, we don't want them covered, we want them seen. Now because we want them seen, we'll try and cut up our onions to a smaller size, even the oatmeal and the green pepper. And remember, the smaller the size, the more the aroma from all these ingredients. Now I've finished chopping up my vegetables. I'll cut up my potatoes. Again, I'm cutting them down because I want them to cook quickly for my pea and potato stew. And once I'm done, you can use as many potatoes as per your serving. If you have very few people, you can use about, maybe if it's just you and your friend, you can use about 6 or 7 of them. Now I'm making for 7, so I'm using a little bit more than probably you are using. But the rest applies to any amount. If you're cooking for many, if you're cooking for few, you just use the same steps and just maybe double your ingredients or your potatoes and peas. I'm using 2 cups of peas. So I'm going to use peas and these potatoes. Now my potatoes are done being chopped. Now let's go to the fire and start cooking. Now I put my pan on fire and wait for it to dry before I add the oil and then start with the frying. Now the heat doesn't have to be a lot, so if you have a low heat, that would be good. Now I've finished, as you can see, my oil. Now I want to put my onions right now, plus garlic. Now I'll put my onions and garlic to give them time to give me that aroma that I want, that gets you eating before you're served. So first I put my onions, then the garlic, and these can fry until a nice brown color. You can mix them up. And once you see that they've browned, then you can bring in the carrots. It is so easy to make up new meals every day at home. All you have to do is think, what have I served? And what do I have in the house? How do I twist it up to give me a whole new meal altogether? And before you know it, you have eager mouths waiting to take down whatever it is you have made. I'll put my carrots. And let them get to know each other very well. Then I'll put in my spices. I'm using this curry, so I'll put the curry. I'll put my turmeric. Now go easy with the turmeric, because if you put in too much, it gives that strange feel on the tongue. So don't use too much. You just use maybe half a teaspoon. Then you use some black pepper, quarter a teaspoon of black pepper. This helps to put all together all your ingredients, the black pepper. Then I'll bring in my rosemary. I like rosemary because of the things that it does. It does not only do the aroma, but it also is healthy for you to take. Then I'll add in my seasoning. I'll use the barbecue seasoning, or if you have, you can use the beef masala. Now the reason I'm using the beef masala seasoning is because I want my mix of potatoes and peas to have a twisted taste whereby you can't know what exactly you're eating, and it won't be believable that it's not meat. Then I'll put in some chili, the spice, just to give my food some kick. And then I'll add in my tomatoes. I've used the tomato puree, so feel free to use the same if you have at home, and if you don't, you can always make it or use normal tomatoes depending on what you have. I'll put some sugar because I don't want the acids from my tomatoes to overlap my peas and potato mix. Remember, do not hesitate to test, because if you're going to be told by the people you've cooked for, this is salt, about your food, whether it was salty or not spicy enough, you might as well test so you save yourself the embarrassment. Now, as you can see, these are just the the vegetables. These will give me a nice curry when I bring in my peas. So time for me to bring in my potatoes. Now the amount of potatoes you put also depends on your servings. If your servings are many, then you use more potatoes. If they are few, you use less. As you can see, making meals at home is not hard. We just have to learn how to make time to make our meals more appetizing, more tasty, even with limited resources. You mix and let the potatoes meet up with the rest of the vegetables. See how it looks? Now it does not only look good, it does taste good when it's ready. Right now it's not ready, but you can see the colors. There is no way you can serve this niceness and the people you're giving it to don't like it. I know my husband for sure will jump for the second serving once this is done, because he likes the peas and all these vegetables put together. We can not only enjoy good meals with meat, but also with vegetables. And there are ways we can make our kids to like them as well. Now, as you have seen, I've not yet put my green pepper, so time for me to put my green pepper. I'll leave some so that it gives me that green when I'm done cooking. So now I'm putting my oatmeal. I grow this in the garden, so I don't spare when I'm using it. But if you're not like me and you have to buy, you can use any amount, it's okay. Now you mix and let them also meet the rest of the family. This way, the aromas spread around. See how they look, guys? And we are not yet there. Now we add some water, just a little bit. I said a little bit because I don't know how many potatoes you're using or how many servings you're going to have. Now, basing on mine, I've used about 1.5 cups of water to get to this. So I'll cover this and then check on it later after about 5 minutes. Now the 5 minutes are up. Let's check on our potatoes, see how they are doing before we bring in the peas. Smells really nice. Now, when you put in the knife and see that your potatoes can get the knife to go through, you know they are almost there, as you can see. So time to bring in the peas. We do this way because we don't want our peas to be squashed. So time to bring in the peas. Now I'm putting my peas. These ones were not pre-boiled, they were in the freezer. So even when you don't boil them before, they will be okay. Peas need about 2 minutes with these potatoes and then they'll be ready to serve. These are fresh peas. If you overboil them, there will be no trace of them. Remember, some can eat them raw, so no need to overboil them. The nutrients are still there if you cook them for a shorter time. Now mine were in the freezer and beaten up by ice. But if yours are fresh, they will be needing the same format. You just put them in and mix just a bit and then careful again not to smash your potatoes. Then you mix. See how I'm mixing? I'm just getting the bottom and then lifting so that they go all over the place. Now we do this first and then cover for about 2 or 3 minutes. With the green peppers now, more green pepper. Remember, I used half of my green pepper. Now I'm introducing the rest so that my peas can get a bit of that freshness. And then I'll cover. This should be for about 3 minutes, then I take it off. Now it is time to see how our potatoes are doing with the peas. Guys, do you see how they look? Now I'll add in some oatmeal. Remember, I used some of it and left some because I want to retain that aroma from them. So I keep putting. I put when I'm starting, in the middle and at the end, so that it's not lost along the way. It will give my curry a very good smell. See how it looks? The potatoes are still intact And I'm going to show you that they are ready when I poke them with a knife, and they are still easy for the knife to go through. Now, do you see? You see how easy it goes in? I don't even have to use a lot of effort. That means they are ready. But if you find when yours are hesitant to get out, to go through, then you know they are not ready. Now I'm certain mine are, and it's time for me to plate. As you have seen, we did not use any thickening components, simply because if you use the blended tomatoes, your whatever it is you're cooking will have a thick consistency. So you don't have to use thickeners unless you put a lot of water. So time for me to take off and plate my food. Now time for me to plate my meal. I'm going to put in a bowl because it is easier to serve one whole meal in a bowl than it is on a plate. If you can see, I don't know whether you can see when I'm serving. Now this is how I would plate my potato and pea curry. I put some oatmeal just to garnish and give my meal a nice color, so it's better presented. So when I'm serving, it speaks for, the food speaks for me even before I say anything. This would be enjoyed by everyone. It's more of a stew, but that will be enough for whoever you're serving it for. It's rich, it's got a bit of everything, and with the least amount of ingredients. Thank you so much, subscribers. Thank you so much, viewers. You're the ones that keep this family going of food, meals made easy at home. See you next time. Thank you for watching, and God bless. Bye-bye.